It's Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Welcome to Disruptive FM, where business and culture collide. Sponsored by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. With your host, Jeffrey Colon.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another episode of Disruptive FM, number 19, for the week ending Friday the 14th of September, 2018. Welcome. I'm Jeffrey Colon, your host and audio guide for the next quarter hour, as we dive into the culture of business and check out what's happening in marketing, media, tech, and popular culture. Put the needle on the record.
Here are this week's trending topics. The new competition.
I really cannot stand companies noting in their business strategy the following. Quote, "We want to be the market leader in our category and defeat our competitors." End quote. If this is the case in the year 2018, it means you literally want to kill your customers. You see, competition in this day and age isn't company versus company. It's getting the attention of your customers enough to have them pay attention to you. Customers are fickle. They're no longer loyal. They have a lot going on and not much time to take all the information in about your brand. And this is what most brand marketers don't get, especially in the world of video. Brands keep producing video like their customers have all the time in the world to consume it. So we went to a strategist who works with video and monitors its changing nature. George Strong, business director at Lively, based in London. George and Lively have been in the live video game for some time, and he joined us earlier this week via Skype to talk about this particular topic of customers in control when it comes to video.
When we talk about competition, I think we kind of feel like it's more the fact that consumers now have control, far more than we've ever had control. And we're also certainly kind of the savviest we've ever been too. I still feel like although we have control, it's more of a choice of options rather than total control, but maybe that's just me. As for video, it's kind of a broader question, defining this: video, mobile, VR, live video, 360 mapping, platform, short form, long form. We haven't even got 5G here yet. So all of these things, they're quite uncertain. But what we do know is the advances in technology for mobile connectivity and media platforms, in my view, have largely altered our lifestyle behaviors, habits, desires, and needs, I guess. And, that changes rapidly and it's hard to keep up. But I think at the end of the day, people just don't like ads anymore, not in the same way. They don't want to be served marketing messages unless they are either relevant to us when we need them. And of course, data plays a huge part in that. And I think we're stepping into mindful data, which could create mindful content in some ways. As an example, there's an app that I've got that I use, and obviously lots of people do use it as well, called Sky Sports app, which I've recently deleted because I follow football, I follow lots of other sports, and I kind of want to watch just the interviews of the managers, players, or whatever. But I have to watch sometimes a minute's or 30-second to a minute's worth of ads before I can even watch that without kind of a choice. And they're not even relevant to me. So that app's now gone. I've also deleted Facebook app on my mobile because I just found myself binging on Flick content that was kind of numbing me. It was like a distraction tool and then kind of became addictive. And then I realized I wasn't really learning anything. And it all kind of scared me. In some ways now we're starting to care more about those who care to create rather than passively consuming numbing content. It's an active consumption where we're looking for stimulation.
That was George Strong, business director for Lively, based in London, and why customers are the new competition, especially when it comes to video. Thanks again, George.
Trending topics on DFM. Technology versus humanity.
We seem to be so afraid of robots. We fear they will take our jobs, that they may pull a Skynet on us. But is it robots we should fear, or humans behaving like robots we should dread more? What is causing more of us as humans to behave like robots? Well, a few things. Algorithms, over-reliance on our phones, over-reliance on digital assistants, over-reliance on reminders, the dreaded processes and efficiencies and managed outcomes that exist in the business world. Our world is transforming at a breakneck pace. Change happens to be an eternal law of nature. Change leads to evolution, transformation, and can even be disruptive. Most important notion is how human values have undergone change in this technological era. Problems and potentials often go hand in hand. Problems can be turned into opportunities. So society has become more and more dependent on technology. That sometimes we lack the willingness to think before we act. Power comes with consequences, however, and we have become so busy enjoying the much increased powers of technology that we often fail to act responsibly. We're sort of in this middle world we dub here at DFM called Helven, or Helven, heaven and hell coming together. It's here. We ourselves make a choice according to our behavior. Technology is not what we seek, but how we seek it. And yet we are getting it wrong again and again. We want more data when we really need more insights and perspective. We're very data rich while we're insights poor. Technology is making us so engaged that we can't even find time to spend with our loved ones. Are we getting so blinded in this era of technology that our brain has stopped beholding the essence of what's right and what's wrong? The clash of human and machine is definitely upon us. Will we blindly abdicate big chunks of our lives to the global technology, or will we take back our autonomy and demand a sustainable balance between technology and humanity? We're past the expiration date of thinking about this. In fact, my hand already mutated into metal as I was recording this segment.
Trending topics on DFM. Algorithmic art.
Speaking of technology, art is mutating more and more to involve non-human solutions. And yet artificial intelligence needs art more than art needs artificial intelligence. When someone says that a computer can make images, they smuggle in a much larger viewpoint about the role of machines in society. For all its utopian prognostication, the pursuit of AI boils down to a very simple business case. Artificial intelligence holds the promise that it can approximate the labor of a human, and if successful, perform it faster, cheaper, and beyond the reach of those pesky labor laws. With human factory labor in the rear-view mirror, big companies have automation of white-collar jobs directly within their sites. But to outperform today's fleshy writers and lawyers, AI must also prove its mastery of one of the most critical human faculties. Yup, creativity. If machine intelligence can conquer this uniquely human realm, the march to artificial general intelligence is high, and the profits unimaginable. Art is among the last problems for which a human is still the best solution. No ruling class can exist without an appeal to the aesthetic, as almost any page from art history will show. To control the terms of what counts as an image, or what constitutes art, is to rule both the mind and the body, to influence the whole world of human emotion and expression. For centuries, this power has sat with artists. For the engineer, the institution of art is both a playground and a menace. There is much at stake in the debate over what constitutes an image. Given the power already held by those who build and deploy artificial intelligence, it's not a question we should take lightly.
It's Disruptive FM.
Communications.
The Business Culture Podcast.
They say if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of today.
It's Disruptive FM, the culture of business. I'm your host, Jeffrey Colon. In the background, that's new music from Ed Wizard and Disco Double D. It's a track called Here We Go. And yes, that is a Basement Jaxx sample for all you train spotters out there. Out now on Editorial Records. You can connect with us on Instagram or Twitter at DisruptiveFM. Connect with me personally on Instagram or Twitter at DJGEOFFE. Also, check out our latest volume 000 mixtape on Spotify. DFM Mixtape Volume 000. Disruptive FM is brought to you by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. For more in-depth analysis, check out Microsoft.com/stories and BrandingStrategyInsider.com. Also brought to you by Iographer. Create better video. At Iographer, they make accessories for your mobile device to help you make professional videos. Learn more about all the products we use at DFM to make our videos at iographer.com.
Hey nerds! Listen up!
Disruptive FM presents the new Hootie Hoo in Turned Up Tech. Geargasm.
Shut up and take my money!
So this past Wednesday, Apple hosted its annual September event. You're used to it by now. The one they parade out all their new devices just in time for the pending holiday season. There were updates to the iWatch, but the bigger charade was the 3 new phones. The XS, the XS Max, and the R. R, is it the 10S, the 10S Max, and the R? Well, beyond the fact the names of these phones are confusing, here's what each offers. The iPhone XS, 10S Max, and 10R all share the iPhone X's all-screen design and Face ID security features, and the Apple Watch Series 4 bundles a larger display with more advanced health-focused features. What Apple took away, however, was an inexpensive way to enter its smartphone ecosystem. That's right, they're truly for the 1%ers now. Apple's latest announcement prices out consumers looking for a more affordable iPhone, even if it is a few years old. Consistent user hostile behavior on Apple's part does little to earn it any goodwill here, and makes me wonder when the headphone jack and the rest of Apple's devices will get the axe. It also makes me worried about their new pricing structure, which in the case of the iPhone uses a lower-priced smartphone neutered in some important ways to strongly suggest users buy the more expensive, more capable device. In the past, your option was either an iPhone or a larger version of that same phone. Now, with different price points, the addition and removal of certain features on certain devices, and the death of the headphone jack for good, well, it feels like Apple doesn't care whether or not consumers actually like what's happening to their smartphones. And in their eyes, we'll always be their customers. And that is their biggest misstep here. It's about that time to take a look at some simmering news items we have our eye on. It's a segment we call On the Radar.
Here's what's on our radar. Number 1.
U.S. median income rises to record highs. Median household income in the U.S. rose 1.8% last year to a record $61,000, or roughly the same as what middle-class families were earning before the financial crisis struck in 2008. The new report also showed a decline in the poverty rate to 12.3%, or 39 million Americans, from 12.7% in 2016. And the proportion of Americans without health insurance remained at a steady rate of 8.8%.
Number 2.
White Castle fries only come in one size. Now their burgers come with a meatless option. White Castle is taking its meatless burger national after debuting the plant-based patty at 140 locations in April. The patty is made by the startup Impossible Foods and looks, tastes, and bleeds like a hamburger. The fast food chain said sales of the burgers, which cost about $1.99, exceeded expectations. Applebee's and Bear Burger are some other eateries offering similar burgers. No word yet from Shake Shack if they'll offer a similar option.
Number 3.
Tech versus art. Nah, how about tech art? A new generation of artist programmers weaned on code and disdainful of discipline boundaries is starting to offer pointed and frequently hilarious critiques of artificial intelligence and social media, using tech itself as the medium. A dozen of them introduced their work this weekend at the XOXO Festival in Portland. Now, why does this matter? Tech's biggest problems today developed because the industry tends to apply a pure engineering mindset to stubbornly organic realms of human behavior. And while these projects don't solve problems themselves, they spark the kind of creative thinking we'll need to do so. Artists and thinkers who didn't grow up with the two cultures divide between science and humanities etched into their brains are going to keep chipping away at the boundary between art and tech. All right, that will wrap up our 19th episode of DFM. Big thanks to guest George Strong of Lively for joining us. You can connect with us by following me on Twitter or Instagram at DJGEOFFE. Follow Disruptive FM on Twitter or Instagram at Disruptive FM. And you can read more in-depth content via our 3 sponsors, Microsoft.com/stories, BrandingStrategyInsider.com, and iographer.com. Next week, we're recording from New York City and the 3rd annual Bing Agency Awards, where we will be talking augmented reality. All right, for everyone here at DFM, thanks for checking us out. We appreciate your time. I'm Jeffrey Colon, and we'll catch you next week.
You've been listening to Disruptive FM with Microsoft Communications designer Jeffrey Colon. All thoughts are his own. Disruptive FM is produced in Los Angeles by Feeler Media.